Dragonverse fans, welcome back to another series that we are about to start here on the Dragonverse. You waited, and it's finally time to deliver the first season of Starblade and the Martian Maruader. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Previously on Starblade and Martian Maruader. So, we're gonna split up. If that is what you feel is best. I saw some off-rollers earlier. You did? Yeah, there were 2 of them. Is that a part of the bomb? Yeah. Wonderful. It's the Brigands of Malice. They've set off a second bomb. We begin as a group of armed guards enter a hotel. The guards rush up the stairs. Starblade and Martian Maruader are with them. They make it to the floor where the Brigands of Malice are staying. Gathering outside the room, the guards position themselves on either side of the door. Starblade and Martian Maruader take the lead. She looks at the guards and nods. The lead guard prepares his weapon, as do the others. Starblade prepares hers and stabs through the door. She carves an outline in the door and kicks it down. The guards rush into the room, performing a standard sweep. Starblade and Martian Maruader enter behind them. The nice room is empty, as though nobody ever disturbed it. Martian Maruader shows his frustration. All clear. Search the room. Maybe they left something behind. Affirmative. Gone again. They can't have gotten far. I should have fought them all myself. And if they defeated you and killed you, what then? Martian Maruader goes silent. You would have avenged me. Sure, but I'd much rather have you here, alive. One of the guards searches under the bed. He spots a bomb. The countdown sequence is nearly finished. Explosive! Everybody, clear out! The guards begin to sprint out of the room. Starblade and Martian Maruader cover their retreat. The bomb explodes. The guards and Starblade get out safely. Martian Maruader is caught in the blast. The smoke begins to clear and everyone is coughing. Martian Maruader is unharmed from the blast as he appears in the destroyed doorway. Is everyone all right? We're fine. How nice of them to leave us a present. The guard sighs. We'll need to remain here. Right. Like I said, maybe our friends haven't gotten far. Let's go, Marauder. Right. The 2 rush off to pursue the Brigands of Malice. The Brigands of Malice evade patrols as they walk along the streets of Eozora. Karaz carries a large bag with him. The Brigands find a dark alley to hide in as they hear the bomb explode. Brigands of Malice, this is it. Soon this world will bow to us. The Brigands nod eagerly. Now it's time to resume our plan. Karaz, you and Dejari are on bomb duty. Oh yeah. I want the Martian. You will keep him distracted. Much better than the ringworm. This time, he won't escape. Truly, you all have been my favorite crew. The Brigands of Malice smile at their leader. Move out. The Brigands of Malice split up, heading off in pairs, while Jorath heads off on his own. Toko and Raijin continue to evade patrols. A moment later, Raijin sees something and pushes Toko into another alleyway. Starblade and Martian Maruader fly overhead. The heroes don't seem to have spotted them. Toko and Raijin wait until they're out of sight. Alright, let's go. Wait a minute. What's up? We need to ensure that Karaz and Dejari remain undetected. I thought that was Jorath's job. He's keeping the Martian busy. The Starblade needs to be dealt with as well. I'm assuming you have an idea? Toko looks at his friend and smiles. King Edaman walks through the garden with Chief Advisor Fanning. My king, perhaps preparing for another evacuation might be in order. If these brigands are trying to blow up the city, you should get your family to safety. It's getting late. The children are set to head to bed. It would be a hassle. One that may be necessary. You may be right, and I'm growing too weary to argue. The king smiles. I will find the queen. We will head to the safe house. Hopefully this is situated before any more danger reaches the city. We can only hope, my king. Chief Advisor Fanning bows as the king retreats inside his lavish palace. A pair of guards walk down the street. They hear a glass break and prepare to investigate. They both enter the alleyway. At first, they don't see anything. All clear. Let's get back on patrol. Need to keep our eyes open for these off-worlders. The guards turn around and Jorath is standing behind them. Jorath immediately punches one of the guards in the chest. He flies back and crashes into the wall. He slumps over, unconscious. The other guard gasps. Before he can call for backup, Jorath grabs him by the neck and lifts him up. If you want to avoid ending up like your friend, I suggest you help me. What do you need? What's the best way to send a message around here? Inspector Newland stands outside the Brigands of Malice's ship with a few guards. Several pieces of equipment have been brought into the hangar. The inspector approaches one of the guards. Almost done? Yes, Inspector. The grav locks are nearly in place. Once they are, this ship and its owners won't be going anywhere. Glad to hear it. Once we get the ship locked down, proceed inside for a full sweep. Yes, Inspector. The inspector yawns. Tired? Yeah. Already knew this was going to be a long night. You think these guys have an Elite drink maker? The guard laughs. If we find one, we'll let you know, Inspector. Much obliged. Suddenly, a laser shot hits the guard in the shoulder. He cries out in pain and grabs his shoulder. He drops to his knees. Inspector Newland spins around and sees Toko and Raijin. Both have their blasters drawn. Toko, the one who fired the shot. Shots fired! Take him out! The guards draw their weapons and take defensive positions. Toko and Raijin move inside the hangar, firing on the guards. Inspector Newland ducks behind a crate. Soon the hangar is filled with the sound of lasers. Toko and Raijin are outnumbered 5-2. The wounded guard continues to writhe around in pain. The guards manage to keep Toko and Raijin pinned for the first few seconds. Toko and Raijin see the grav locks. Only 2 have been engaged. With a simple nod, Toko and Raijin open and fire on the guards. Raijin rolls to another crate. Toko tosses a grenade in the air. It explodes and flashes brightly. The guards cover their eyes. Flasher, get down! The guards attempt to get behind cover. Raijin appears in front of one of them as his vision clears. He punches him twice before shooting him in the chest. Another guard's eyesight recovers and he fires at Raijin. Raijin dodges and fires back, and the guard goes down. Raijin takes several blasts to the chest from the inspector. He groans. Smoke rises from his chest, but the lasers don't pierce his skin. He fires at the inspector, who dodges the shots. Toko fires at the gravlocks and destroys the first one. Inspector Newland looks at the remaining 2 guards. The wounded one to her right looks at her. Inspector, take my blaster. He slides it to her. She fires both at Raijin, who is back in cover. Get out of here! They're trying to get to the ship! They'll kill you! It's a risk I'll have to take. Now go! Toko and Raijin take down the other 2 guards. Inspector Newland rises and sprints away from the wounded guard. She unloads on the brigands with everything she has. Both are forced to take cover. Eventually, she also takes a blast to the leg. She cries out in pain and tumbles backwards over a crate. Toko takes out the second gravlock. Toko lowers the ramp. He and Raijin run up the ramp into the ship. Inspector Newland and the last remaining guard begin to crawl out of the hangar as the ship begins to power up. As the ship roars to life, the 2 manage to grab onto the edge of the hangar doors. The ship takes off into the sky. Starblade and Martian Maruader keep flying around the city to no avail. We're getting nowhere. Let's not give up. I'm sure we'll find them soon. Starblade, another bomb has already exploded. They're likely planting more. The longer we search, the more time they'll have to succeed. Fair point, but they're here somewhere. We just have to find out where. As the heroes hover in front of a large view screen, it shifts to Jorath's face. Attention, citizens of Eozora. I am Jorath the Juggernaut, member of the Brigands of Malice. Your planet will soon be ours. To that end, there are a couple of people who don't belong. Martian, if you're hearing this, meet me atop the spire. Time to end this. With that, the feed returns to normal. Martian Marauder prepares to leave. You gonna win this time? I plan to. You want some help? No, he's mine. After all, I came here for him. Very well. Good luck, my dude. Martian Marauder flies towards the spire. Martian Marauder arrives at the location. Jorath stands atop the building. The equipment he used to broadcast his message is strewn about. Jorath unfolds his arms. At last. Glad you didn't make me wait. Today, you won't escape. I don't plan to. You and I will battle until our fists bleed. Only then will I break your neck. You won't get the chance. Martian Marauder hovers in the air. The tension builds between the two men. Martian Marauder finally dashes towards Jorath. Jorath leaps into the air but gets tackled. Martian Marauder tackles Jorath through every floor of the building until they reach the bottom. Martian Marauder begins to punch him repeatedly. Jorath blocks the next strike and punches Marauder off of him. Martian Marauder elongates his fist, trying to punch him from afar, but Jorath dodges and grabs his long arm. He yanks the Martian towards him and kicks him hard. Martian Marauder crashes through the front door and back out onto the street. The civilians that are still out gasp in shock. Jorath walks outside. Martian, I must say, whenever we battle, it makes me overjoyed. When men like us clash, it draws the attention of the people. They can't help but be drawn to strength. Your version of strength is based on domination, as it should be. Fine. If that's the way you feel, I'll show you true strength. Good. Jorath runs at Martian Marauder. Martian Marauder phases through the floor, reappearing behind him. Jorath spins around and punches him in the stomach, sending him into the air. Martian Marauder flies back down and dodges a punch from Jorath. He punches Jorath into the ground. Jorath rolls over, dodging the next punch. He grabs Marauder by the neck and slams him into the ground, causing the ground to quake. Jorath pulls back his fist and begins to beat Martian Marauder into the ground. Inspector Newland has dragged herself to an upright position. She pulls out her communicator. General Portsmouth answers his own comm a moment later. Inspector, what happened? The Brigands of Malice showed up at their hangar, got their ship, mobilized. Is that so? Well then, it seems our Navy will get another shot. Be careful, sir. I'm positive this is what they want. I'm counting on it. Good luck, sir. General Portsmouth ends the call as he begins another. General? Evening. You and your men ready to get some action? Always, sir. Good. Prepare your ships. Inside the Navy hangar, more starcraft sit. A group of pilots enter the hangar and enter their crafts. They begin to power on the ships. Once they're ready to go, they fly out of the hangar, one by one, heading towards the upper atmosphere. Toko and Raijin fly the ship into the upper atmosphere. The sensors begin to beep loudly. We've got incoming. Right on time. Weapon system coming online. Let's have some fun, boss. Oh, I plan to. The ship continues to rocket through the starry night sky. Starblade still flies around the city until she sees the Brigands of Malice's ship powering through the sky. A short while later, she begins to hear the Navy starcraft flying through the sky as well. She smiles. Hello, beautiful. Can't wait to trash you. Starblade flies off towards the ship. Martian Marauder and Jorath continue to battle through the streets. The two tumble around, trading punches as they go. By now, both combatants have their share of bruises. Martian Marauder grabs Jorath and tosses him into a window. Then he flies after him. As Jorath recovers, he's grabbed again. Martian Marauder begins to repeatedly slam his face into the ground. Jorath gets tired of this and elbows the Marauder across his jaw. Pain shoots through the jaw, but he fights past it, his Martian durability giving him the strength to go on. Jorath prepares to attack, but Martian Marauder attacks his mind. Jorath cries out in pain. His mind is hit with wave after wave of telekinetic attack. Jorath grabs his head and drops to his knees. Martian Marauder hits him with a final blast, and Jorath cries out again. He stumbles backwards out of the open window and falls towards the ground. Martian Marauder has to relent on his mental assault as he grabs his own head to recover. Jorath crashes into the ground with a loud impact. Martian Marauder continues to recover as Jorath doesn't move. A short while later, Martian Marauder hovers down to the street. Jorath rests his eyes. Curious civilians begin to approach. Stay back! It isn't safe! No sooner than he finishes his sentence, Jorath's eyes open. He kicks Marauder with both feet. Martian Maruader is launched far away. Jorath slowly sits up. He rubs his temple and groans. That really hurt, Martian. Martian Marauder continues to fly through the air. He eventually crashes into another building. Jorath leaps after him. As Martian Marauder begins to get to his feet, Jorath lands near him. He uppercuts Martian Marauder through the ceiling. No more mental attacks from you. Fight me like a warrior. Martian Marauder slowly gets to his feet. A warrior uses every weapon at his disposal, right? I suppose he does. Martian Marauder flies back down but gets punched again. He swings but his strike is dodged. Jorath kicks him. Jorath begins to dominate the Marauder, beating him across the building. Eozoran Navy starcraft close in on the Brigands of Malice's ship. Alright men, sensors have a lock. Be ready for them to put up a defense. As the pilots near the ship, the Brigands of Malice open fire. The starcraft evade the fire, but the Brigands' turrets were made to blast starfighters. The pilots continue to evade and are able to make their first attack run. The ship's hull suffers no damage as the shields absorb the laser fire. The starcraft prepare for another attack run. The second attack run is successful, but still no damage to the hull. Those shields are powerful. Any ideas, sir? Prepare your heavy ordnance. A missile should do enough damage. Yes, sir. The pilot prepares his missile launcher. Raijin sits in his turret seat. He opens fire on the ships. In the cockpit, the sensors begin to beep. Missiles? Too easy. Toko flips a few switches and hovers his finger over a button. Firing missile. The pilot fires his missile and it rockets towards the ship. Toko presses the button. Debris is launched in the direction of the missile, and the ship accelerates. The missile explodes as it connects. As the cloud of smoke dissipates, the ship remains unharmed. The Brigands of Malice respond with a missile of their own. It connects with the ship that fired it. The ship explodes in a ball of fire. Raijin takes out another with a salvo from the turret. They're picking us off! Break formation! The pilots break formation. Raijin follows the lead pilot. I take you out, the coordination drops. Raijin's aim locks on, and he fires. The lead pilot prepares to take evasive maneuvers. However, someone appears in front of the ship. There's an explosion from the impact. As the smoke clears, Starblade hovers there. An energy barrier holds strong between herself and the ship. Raijin gnashes his teeth. Boss, she's here. All according to plan. Starblade dissolves her barrier. She looks at the lead pilot. Glad I got here in time. She looks at the Brigands of Malice's ship. Race you there? Starblade's aura powers up and she flies towards the enemy. Form up on the Starblade. The other pilots follow orders. Toko and Raijin open fire, sending shot after shot. The ships evade damage, as does Starblade. Together, she leads them towards the ship. Karaz and Dejari are in the process of planting another bomb. Almost done? Don't rush me, Dejari. I need to focus. Even from here, they can hear the battle in the upper atmosphere. Our friends are buying us time. We can't waste it. Karaz ignores her, focusing on his task. He slides out from his location. Done! Let's go! The two exit their current location. Karaz and Dejari continue to walk along the streets, trying to avoid notice. Karaz closes up the bag of explosives. 2 more locations, and we're home free. Take a deep breath. Everything will be okay. I know. The two keep rushing towards their next location. However, as they turn a corner, they bump into a few guards. Karaz's bag falls next to them. What the? Hey, what's in this bag, off-worlder? Ah, you know, my dinner for the evening. Your dinner? Yep, yours too. Then you won't mind if I take a look? Actually, I do. I have a very specific diet. Dejari leaps forward and kicks the guard back. She slides the bag towards Karaz. You're coming with us. No chance. Everyone draws blasters. Karaz secures his bag. The two take cover as the first shots are fired. A brief firefight begins. Karaz and Dejari are pinned. Get out of here. Not a chance. The mission is more important. Now go. Karaz sighs and runs off. He's making a run for it. Dejari pins the guards down with blaster fire. You won't get him. Karaz continues to run down the street past confused civilians as the blaster fire echoes in the night sky. Starblade fires a blast at the ship and it connects. It penetrates the shields and damages the hull. Inside the ship, Toko and Raijin rock with the rest of it. She made a hit. We've got an opening. Concentrate your fire. The pilots follow up with more shots along the ship, damaging the large ship even further. Starblade adds another blast to the damage. The Brigands of Malice open fire once again. Another Eozoran starcraft is destroyed. As it plummets to the earth, everyone else takes evasive maneuvers. Starblade flies high, then dive bombs towards the ship. She activates her blade and runs it along its hull. Blasted Starblade! She's gonna wreck the ship! Fire everything we've got, then proceed to Plan B. You got it. The ship spews out nearly endless fire, including missiles. Starblade and the pilots are forced to evade. Starblade deflects a few bolts back at the ship. The pilots shoot off their countermeasures to take care of the missiles. Starblade prepares a final blast and fires at the engines. The blast connects and the ship's engines explode. The ship begins to fall out of the sky. Starblade flies next to the lead pilot. I'm gonna go pull our criminals out of there. Good luck. Starblade flies back towards the ship. There's another large explosion as the ship splits in two pieces. Starblade is surprised to see the drop ship. Its powerful laser cannon has already fired at her. She is hit and sent hurtling backwards. The pilots are once again on the defensive as they're forced to evade incoming fire. Martian Marauder gets punched and crashes into another building. The building begins to crumble and crash. The civilians run away from the destruction. Martian Marauder stumbles out of the building. Jorath stands in the middle of the street. Both hear sounds of the battle in the atmosphere above. They both look up to the sky once the ship explodes. The debris begins to fall outside the city. Jorath smiles. It seems things are getting intense. The destruction, the violence. Jorath smiles. I feel like we should join them. If we fight like this, the city will be destroyed. As if I care about that. Well, I do. Jorath charges Martian Marauder, who blocks his next punch. Martian Marauder punches Jorath hard. The blow echoes throughout the city and shatters nearby windows. Jorath is sent flying through the air. Martian Marauder flies after him. He tackles him and keeps flying. He speeds towards the outskirts of the city. Martian Marauder spins around and throws Jorath into the ground, as Jorath crashes into the ground, creating a new crater. As he gets to his feet, Martian Marauder is already on him. Martian Marauder rains blow after blow across his face. Jorath blocks a punch, but gets kicked in the chin. Then he gets blasted with another mental strike. Jorath roars in pain before Martian Marauder stuffs his face with his fist. Jorath crashes into a hill. For the first time, blood leaks from his nose. Martian Marauder flies up to the villain and hovers in front of him. You want a deadly fight? Now I'm ready. The two prepare to continue their battle. Dragonverse fans, we are almost there. Just one episode left in the first season of Starblade and Martian Maruader. Thank you guys once again for all the support up to this point. The story feedback, any just sort of nice comments that you guys leave in the comment section, I read them all and I really and truly appreciate it. I hope you all had a wonderful and Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year, and trust and believe next year is going to be full of awesome Dragonverse content. Until then, take care. Dragon out.